What is good, guys? It's Rey-Jay back with another video, and in this one I want to break down what's going on with Tsla, SPY, Nvda, the QQQ, and a couple of other tickers. I'm going to break down what's going on with the economic calendar and what the news is saying about the markets, and some very important levels to be watching for as we enter the trading day for today. But before I break things down all this information, before I talk about how the charts are looking, let me just mention a couple of things. Firstly, I am not a financial planner, so take nothing I say as financial advice. And also, if you guys can, please check out the Moomoo link, which is down below and in the description. If you sign up for Moomoo, the link down below, and deposit $100 into the account, you are guaranteed up to 5 free stocks. If you deposit $1,000, you're guaranteed up to 15 free stocks. This offer ends in just a couple of weeks. Anyways, now let's break down what's going on with the markets. I just want to remind you all that there's not really much data coming out for today. At 10 o'clock a.m., we have the wholesale inventories data coming out. So we're expecting this to be between negative 0.1 to negative 0.2%. And besides that, everything else looks very minor. We have the New York Fed Treasury purchases at 10:30, 17-week bill auction at 11:30. So look for some volatility at those times, but nothing too crazy. Once again, guys, this data is all very minor, and we might get a very quiet day today as it's going to be the last day before CPI. CPI, once again, is on Thursday, January 11th, an hour before the market opens. Today's going to be the last day, the last full trading day before CPI comes out. So we'll be watching to see how this ends up affecting the markets. But moving forward, there's not like insane amounts of data for today, and the market may be kind of quiet approaching CPI. But now I just want to talk about some other things that are going on right here. We're seeing the market basically trading still kind of down for the year for most stocks out there, most of these ETFs, and also for the indices. There's also some new news that came out that the SEC gave crypto investors hope last Tuesday, then actually brought them back down to earth, according to reports. The SEC said that its account for X, formerly known as Twitter, was compromised when it posted an announcement saying Bitcoin ETFs were approved for trading. But then Gary Gensler jumped on his own X account to say that the post was unauthorized and not made by the SEC or its staff, and they still haven't made a decision about the funds. So we're still waiting for this, unfortunately. We'll see if anything else changes. There's also some news that came out that home prices have been going higher and higher, and that has to do with mortgage rates falling, which has helped pump up demand. But supply remains limited right now. Seeing home prices once again jumping again. We'll see what happens over time, but this once again is going to be affected by elevated mortgage rates. Besides that, I'm not really seeing what else is going on that's crazy. Basically, the U.S. lunar company Astrobotic has called off its attempts for a soft moon landing, and that would have been the first time in a very, very long time. But besides that, I think there are more plans coming out for I would say like next year. So that's pretty much it for now. When it comes to news and such, now let's just break down what's going on with the markets. So on SPY, it's actually still range bound. You guys can see this range has been stuck for quite some time. We're going to be watching this key resistance up above here. We also have our support developing at the 30 minutes 50 EMA, and this is going to actually break down some levels. So we're actually looking a little bit weak in the pre-market as we're kind of selling off a bit. This is what I predicted yesterday would happen. We kind of gap down. So for now, I just want to mention that we have the 50 EMA which is going to be tested. I think that we might see a little drop close to this, either like right before we open or like very close to market open. And then I think that we're going to be watching to see if the 50 EMA holds on the 30 minutes time frame. That's basically around 473. If we lose 473, watch the 30 minutes 200 EMA at 471.78 or 472, basically close to that range. If that fails us, then we're going to turn a bit more bearish, right? If we lose 472, we could see this thing start sinking a bit lower. So watch that support very, very carefully. I also want to mention that for resistance, we actually have the same resistance as like yesterday. So we're going to be watching to see if that holds as well. So it's very important that we're very patient in the market like this. So that being said, what are the levels on SPY to be looking out for? Watch resistance at 474. If we break above this, we have this 475 area. This is where we're actually rejecting. We've got 3 rejections here so far. If we break this, you're going to be watching 476 as resistance. I want to call that out because we have this very important zone. We have a lot of sideways price action between 476.3 and 477.5. So we could enter that zone if we break above 476. A break above 470 if we get above this resistance right here, we could turn a little bullish to get into the 476s. And to be bearish, you want to see this thing basically lose 472. And also the low from yesterday, if we lose that, it's going to come all the way down to 470. So those are your levels to be watching for. What do I think SPY is going to do? We're going to likely start off a little bit weak, get a bounce and attempt to try to break this. And I think it's just going to chop around for most of the day. So it'll drop, a pop, and then a drop again and close kind of like flat, maybe a little bit in the red. But I think that we're going to test the 472s today during our drop before we come back up. So I wouldn't be surprised if we do something like this where we essentially just lots of sideways choppy price action. We kind of drop like this, see an attempt to bounce, and then we come back down and we just continue to chop around just a little bit. We may even see the 472s and kind of close a little bit lower. Unless we lose the support. If we lose the support here where I'm pointing, then we could turn even more bearish. But for now, the most likely possibility is us kind of like shopping around since it's right before CPI, and just watch your levels just to be safe. I'm anticipating a little drop, then a pop for another drop in sideways price action. As far as Tesla goes, we have this wedge. We're actually trying to break above this now. Not this wedge, sorry, this pennant. And we're actually holding support, so we didn't actually break down. We're actually trying to hold up. But the thing is, Tesla's still not looking that strong. We still tested this 236 range, kind of rejected off of it. So watch 236 as resistance, 237.5 to 238, 240, and 242 as resistance. For support, you're going to be watching 234. If we lose 234, that's going to be a critical support because that's where our daily 200 EMA happens to be. It's going to be very important that Tesla holds that support, if anything. If we lose this, then we're going to turn bearish. We're going to be looking for 232 coming next. So it's very important to hold 234, if anything. So we'll be watching to see if Tesla could hold that. In my opinion, Tesla might pop when we open, retest 237, come back down, just trade very sideways, lots of sideways price action today, as it's the day before CPI. We might close very flat. I'm anticipating a lot of sideways boring price action, even for SPY. So that's what I'm seeing for now. On the QQQ, I just want to mention that now we have an uptrend that's forming technically, so we can officially like draw out this trend line from this breakout area. But excuse me, but I'm going to be watching this support like this. We could draw it out like this, if anything, and then we could also draw out this channel kind of like this as well. But if anything, I would say that this is still not looking the strongest, especially if we lose this support here. I would say that make sure you watch for potential attempts to try to push right here. Upon open, could we retest 407 plus? If it breaks above 408, expect it to push up to 410 and then reject. If it fails to break 408, if we actually break below this support, watch 404. If that fails us, a bigger drop is going to be coming closer to 400. So watch 404 as key support. If we lose that, we could turn a bit more bearish. If it breaks 408, expect a bigger push to the upside. As of right now, I think it's just going to chomp around. So it's kind of stuck between these levels. So we'll have to see which way it breaks, but I'm going to be watching that very carefully, at least for the triple Q. All right. So with that being said, that's it for the QQQ. As far as Nvda goes, Nvda is starting to show some life. Trading sideways, as I predicted yesterday, is just very flat. I think that Nvda is going to attempt to push a little bit again. It might reject, then it might make its way back down towards 530 and just be stuck between 530 and 540 for the majority of the day. It might be very sideways thanks to CPI, so we might just see it continue on this trend. If it loses 530, that's when it's going to turn bearish because we have an imbalance to fill down here at 523. So we're going to be watching a 530 breaks. If it loses that, that's going to be critical support. I don't think it's going to break out to another new all-time high or at least get close to 550 yet. Might pop first, come back down, trade sideways, and eventually slow down. I think Nvda might even close kind of red, so it might slow us down just a bit. So I'll be watching that as well. And finally, for Aapl, I'm anticipating a lot of sideways price action as well with it. It is going to likely cool off a bit. We're watching support at 184.25. Might make an attempt to bounce like this if we hold the support, then watch 185. I think it might just get tighter and tighter as time goes on. So I think it's going to be very choppy today. It might cool off a little bit, but lots of choppy sideways price action with a little drop that's coming. Watch 185, 185.5, and 186 as resistance. Watch 184 and 183.5, followed by 182 as support. Look for the little pop upon open and lots of sideways price action, lots of chop that just perpetuates. But that's it for Aapl. With that being said, guys, I just want to thank every single one of you for listening. If you look at the daily 200 EMA on Tesla, we're just barely holding this up, so we'll see if this holds. With that being said, we'll just be watching our charts. I think the market may try to, it could drop a little bit more than pop. Look for the little push that's going to be coming intraday. And then we're going to see a lot of sideways price action, lots of choppy price action before anything else. But that's it for this one, guys. Thank you all so much for listening. Have a great day. Remain calm, cool, and collected. I'll most definitely see you guys on the next one. Thank you, and peace out.